Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to this Tech Talk Tuesday for Teachers. I'm Meenakshi Oberoi, and I welcome you to this session. It's always a pleasure to meet you all here and see the energy that you bring to our rooms. So, hello, good evening, namaste, pranam, wherever you're joining us from. We're absolutely delighted to have you here. Well, this is a topic that's very close to my heart, so I'm literally going to speak from heart. There will be many things that you will notice in today's session, and I'm sure you will take cognition of that. Today's session is titled Equitable Learning Environments with AI. Well, tall order, you see. Equitable learning environments? Is it really possible? Maybe, maybe not. Let's make an effort to unpack, and in this session, we will explore how we can strike a balance between offering to all at the same time in the same way, in a variety of ways in which we can address needs of our different learners. Too much? Think about this. Think of a student in your class who you taught who struggled because of language or learning differences or socioeconomic barriers or probably confidence. Think of that child. Put yourself in the shoe of that child and think and tell me what was the most uh, amazing accommodation that you made in your class so that students felt that they were in an equitable learning environment. So share your name, share your school, your city from where you're joining in our chat window. And also, please do share answer to the question, what did you do to make learning possible for students who were facing these challenges sitting in your classroom? How did you ensure equitable learning environments using AI? Go ahead, please. Share in the chat window any one which way in which you would have helped child feel more feel more as if they were sitting in a equitable learning environment. Go ahead and tell me with AI or without AI. I'm okay with that. But how did you make them feel that you are in an equitable environment? I'll wait for your responses. And I know some of the early birds here give me really good responses. Shamila ma'am, good evening. How are you? Ajay sir, hello. Good to see you all here. And please do respond in the chat window. I'll look forward to your responses. My question once again, how do you make your students feel as if they were in an equitable learning environment? Think about it. I know every teacher that I've, spoken to, I think we've heard words like human-centered vision is what we have in our class. Students feel seen, supported, capable. And, somewhere we try and tweak things in our pedagogy. Thank you, Shamala ma'am, for your response. Here it is. Using different teaching methods like visual, oral, activity-based. Exactly. That's exactly what we are talking about. Letting the students be who they are and we accommodate their ways of learning, helping them feel very comfortable, helping them feel seen, helping them feel and felt, and also help them feel as if, I think I can learn best in this method. And that's what, yeah, exactly. Drawing in slow learners or achievers, etc., taking all along with us. Thank you so much for such an amazing response. This also brings me to the next question. Exactly what is? Nidhi ma'am, thank you for your response. She said unsung, using supportive strategies, giving them encouragement, teaching as per child's pace. Love it. Absolutely love it. Exactly. You both have painted a beautiful picture for what is an equitable learning environment. An environment where every learner can access, engage, demonstrate learning. There are tools and strategies that we use every day to remove these barriers, the barriers of language, the barriers of disability, the barriers of pace, the barriers of backgrounds. I think personalization is possible without increasing our workload as well. And that's exactly where AI comes. AI is a game changer in equity. AI can actually provide us real time personalized support, like when the students are reading, you have your reading coach and your reading progress. When they're writing, when their translations are required, when narration is required. So, we offer these tools to our students who have diverse needs, maybe visual, auditory, or learning disabilities, language barriers, and so much more. Reduce teachers' load by by leveraging these capabilities that are available in our systems, right? So that the teachers can focus on building relationships, giving feedback, guiding students, mentoring students. And I think we just have just one solution for it, and that is giving our learners multiple modes of expression between voice, text, audio, video, visuals, so much that you can do, right? So here we are going to actually talk about why accessibility really matters. It matters because no two students learn in the same way. Surveys have shown that 72% of the classrooms have students with individual education needs. And what are these needs? I'm just going to discuss these needs in about a minute because it's very easy to generalize to say, yeah, we do take care of, the various needs and abilities. And my question would be, well, which one and how? That's where we start thinking. 20% of students, one in every five, by the way, are impacted by dyslexia. 84% of teachers believe accessible tools are integral to achieving equity. But are we really able to offer them the same? Is my question to you. So, what we are here today gathered to not just unpack um, what it looks like in your face, but I think what we need to do is look at the depth and the variety of challenges that exist in our classrooms so that we are able to address those. Because what happens is that look at, we do not understand disability as a range of things. We pretty much generalize things to see what they are. For example, the learning disabilities. Let me begin with that. Okay. Uh, do we even understand the difference between what the different types of learning disabilities are? Well, here it is. Here's a complete canvas. We've divided these into six areas of needs. Students have needs according to learning disabilities, visual challenges, mobility challenges, and autism. Now, of these, let me just speak about learning. Amongst the learning, there are three types of challenges that we see: dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. I know many of you understand, but most of us do not really have an in depth understanding. So, to just give you an overview of it, dyslexia is a learning difference that affects reading and language processing, basically. Yeah, your recognizing of letter and sound, decoding of words, spellings, reading fluency, or understanding what they're reading, because reading takes so much effort that they don't understand what is the context that they're reading. So the challenge in general is what we say that it's dyslexia, but look at the kind of difficulties that are behind it. It's not just spellings, it's not just you know Tare Zameen Par actually helped us understand that there are dancing letters for them, but do the words really dance for them? Or is it a challenge in recognizing letters and sound? Or is it decoding words? Or is it spellings? We don't know. So it is not related to intelligence. It is the disability where often student will be very creative. They'll have very good problem solving capabilities, and probably they are big picture thinkers. But the challenge is in reading and language processing. So those are the two major issues. With dysgraphia, it's a learning difference that affects writing and fine motor skills. And when I say writing, the first thing that comes to your mind is handwriting. Yeah, of course. Letter formation, size, spacing, as far as handwriting is concerned. It's not even legible sometimes when students with dysgraphia are writing. And I know when I'm talking about this, you will recall some 10 notebooks in your class where you'll say, oh, yeah, that handwriting is miserable. But no, not all handwritings are miserable. Sometimes, you know, your thinking speed is much more than your writing speed. Sometimes spellings are a huge challenge for you. Sometimes putting thoughts on paper is a challenge. I can tell you, but I can't write it. You get it? Writing very quickly and neatly, organizing your written work. So challenges could be different. All these, if you ask a student or you expect a student who has dysgraphia to organize their written work, that's a challenge. It's not laziness, it's just that their brain processes written expressions differently. And writing feels like a physically taxing job, even when it is just problem solving in math, right? That's a clear indication for you. But do we have tools for that? Of course we do. Do we offer them? Not sure. Think about it today. Last but not the least, dyscalculia. I think you've understood what I'm getting at. However, it's a learning difference that affects the understanding of numbers and mathematical concepts. Here, the students will have difficulty with not just solving numbers, that is the number sense, that is addition, subtraction, or basic arithmetic. They have problem in understanding time, measurement, sequences. Some of them may have problem remembering facts. Some of them may have a problem recognizing patterns or, following multi-step math approaches because math has a lot of process and steps. Those steps are tough for them to remember. So that typically would be, would be dyscalculia. Now, with this, it's not just being bad at math. No, the brain processes numerical information differently. It doesn't stop processing. You can't say, I'm bad at math. You may be a little differently wired for math. So, as we go through the rest, I think the rest are pretty self explanatory, but I will focus on that because we need to identify. These are only learning challenges, right? What about vision? With vision, low vision, I myself remember sitting in my classroom and saying, I can't see anything from the back. And yes, I was one of those. I don't mind confessing. I was one of those who would just go and sit at the back. And because my friends were there. And I had to jump in the middle of the rows because I couldn't see the board. And most of the times I was distracted because I wouldn't tell them I can't see the board. And I remember this for myself, right? And my teacher would say, why don't you come and sit here? And I thought that they are separating me from my friends. But it was basically she was trying to help me by recognizing that you have low vision and you're not wearing glasses right now. Of course, blindness is something that's very, very visible, visual impairment. Color blindness is something you might not even know. Um, I think I'm going to pause here. I'm going to invite you to raise your hand if you really know how many students or if any student in your class or in your school has color blindness and you know of it. Raise your hand if you know of any student in your class or school who has color blindness. You see, most of the times we don't even know because these things go unchecked. And while we are presenting in beautiful colors our slides or our text or images, that child is one who suffers. Oh, that's so nice to see. One of you just raise your hand. Siva Jyoti. Absolutely great, ma'am. If you know about it, kudos to you. Because possibly this must have been brought out either by parent intervention or probably a medical report, or probably your school would have conducted a test or something. So that's wonderful. But this is something that we need to know in our classes. And if not, then I think we need to offer them a choice at least to be able to choose between colors. Hearing is another one. Hearing impairment is a challenge, and there are degrees of impairment, and we need to recognize those as well. Medical checkups is something I'm definitely in for. Definitely recommend that. Please, please, please do have that as a routine culture, and I'm sure every school does. Oh, how to teach them clearly. You're in for a treat today because we have multiple tools, AI tools that can help you. So I'm just going to go to that. Mobility, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, amputation, or neurodiversity. I'm not sure if students with these challenges come to your schools or not, because normally parents are smart enough to send them to various specialized institutions for them. But if they are, there are certain things that you can do for them, and we're going to talk about it. ADD, ADHD, such common terms that they're used so loosely that we really need to understand what these are. Though this is not the forum for that, but I would greatly appreciate if you can, look through these terms. Seizure, mental health, anxiety, depression, OCDs. Oh, OCD is something I think we all will be held up for because most of the teachers have this obsessive compulsive disorder, including me, right? So we all need some kind of a piece where which can help us. What is it and why? Because equity is not about giving everyone the same thing. It is about giving each learner what they really need to thrive. And AI extends your reach to every student. Educators uh, can do many things, by being responsible, ethical, and accountable for what we are offering them. I think we can offer them a wide variety. How? Here's what you're going to look at. These are some of the strategies which we could use for equitable learning environments using AI. Provide multimodal access to content. Everything from, text to everything from text to video to visuals. Sometimes too much of a movement also is a problem. Students really cannot focus. For example, I often show a slide. I'm just going to actually break from over here, get into my slide, and give you the example of that slide. Just hold on. Give me about 30 seconds and I'm going to show you invariably, whenever that slide comes up. I have given example of this slide in almost every session because it's a beautiful piece to incorporate, yeah, in your slides. But exactly how attractive it is the question. Yeah. So I'm just going to share my screen once again. Okay, just a second. Let's see if we get it. Okay, here's my slide. What do you see in this slide? Give me in the chat window. What do you see in this slide? You can type your response in the chat window. What do you see in this slide? I'm waiting for your response. What do you see in this slide? Yes, I will take this up, Sivajyoti ma'am. Can you please explain how to teach for autism kids who have interest but inability to write? Of course. Rashmi ma'am, oh, good to see you. You said inquisitive mind. Yeah, exactly. Inquisitive mind, curious meerkat looking at you, and you see nothing else. There are some words written on top of that. How does AI know stuff? So my slide graphic is more interesting than my text. This is where you lose the purpose. And then we think about, why are some people not paying attention? Well, that is because you made them distracted. You gave them stuff that could distract them. So, coming back to the topic, I want to take you through some of the tools which can be really helpful. Okay, so the multimedia modal media is very important because that really helps. It addresses various learning styles. Reduce language barriers by offering them. Do you notice something today in our Teams meeting? Is there anything special about our Teams meeting today? Because I've highlighted that. You would get subtitles on this bright blue panel running in black, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go for my entire screen because I want to show you my, okay, how it shows for me. Now over here, oops, just a minute. Yeah. Over here, do you see at the base over here, this is a whole blue panel that is running? Yeah. This blue panel is running all the subtitles. I have the ability to change, and so do you. You can do the language settings here and the caption style. I changed the caption style today. Now you see, I'm making everything more accessible to my students. What am I doing? I could be choosing colors between these to make this content more accessible. But it should not be that bright yellow because that's distracting. So a careful choice of color is very important. You can choose the font size. I can make the font size to be bigger. You can choose the panel size as well. I'll keep it small, but was just demoing it for you. And you can even have it running on the top. There you go. All right. So this is something that makes uh, my sessions very, very inclusive. Yeah. Uh, Let me just make this also small because I have a lot of things to show you. Now, this is one. Number two, I go back to the settings icon. I have language settings. Today, I'm speaking in English India. जब मैं हिंदी में बोलना शुरू करती हूँ, मैं इसे हिंदी में ले लेती हूँ और जैसे ही मैं इसे हिंदी में डाल देती हूँ, ये देखिए हिंदी में आ गया। अब जब मैं बोल रही हूँ तो वो सारा नीचे जो टेक्स्ट है वो हिंदी में ही आएगा। आप देख रहे हैं इस वक्त कैसे ये इतना इंक्लूसिव है कि मैं जो भी बोल रही हूँ वो यहाँ पर सेम लैंग्वेज में लिए जा रहा है एंड देयर आर मोर लैंग्वेज ऑप्शंस व्हिच यू कैन टेक फ्रॉम ओवर हियर look for your languages. There are multiple Indian and foreign languages available over here. Please feel free to choose your language from here. All right. Now, this is one thing that I wanted to show you. In this Teams meeting itself, I'll show you so many things that help me make things more accessible. Now, over here, you have language and speech. Right now, I can hide my captions from here. I can even turn on the RTT on this call. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can. Also, in your settings, you have special accessibility features. Now, we've all might have seen this. Who bothers to see what's in it? It's the same thing, but you can even include sign language. Enable this feature so that you can give enhanced experience for hearing students who have hearing challenges. So if you are in a call or if you are recording something, let's say you are doing some recording for a session, you could actually include the sign language as well. Yeah. So over here, you can use your words, filters, whatever you want. So these are some of the accessibility tools that are available here. And of course, you can mute or unmute anybody, that. Apart from this, there's also one more thing I must bring to your notice. People who don't want to speak in between raise their hand and they also emote. As many emotions as you can capture over here and include, it's absolutely awesome because that there you get to hear the quietest of the voice. Now let me take you to something more. These are some of the comments that I got in the chat window, right? Maybe I don't know what you have written, I can't read. You click on these three dots, okay? You go down into more actions and you have Immersive Reader here. You want me to show you? Let me show you. Look, Nidhi ma'am's comment immediately will turn into Immersive Reader. This is Immersive Reader. This can read aloud for you. Let's hear. And let me know if you can't hear it. I have included sound though.
Nidhi unverified, January 20th, 2026, 5:08 and 13 seconds p.m. Usung supportive strategies, giving them encouragement, teaching as per the child's pace.
Now, over here, you can adjust the pace at which it is being read. You can choose between a male and a female voice as well. On the top right, imagine just a comment in Teams, and I'm not able to read because of my visual challenges, probably. I can increase the size here, very quickly read a comment, and that's it. You can increase or decrease the spacing. The words look so much clearer when you increase the spacing, but for some of us, it's like, no, 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 just give me a normal layout and I'll be able to read. You can even change the font. I don't know how finicky you are about fonts. I'm super finicky. At one point in time, I remember I was so obsessed about Georgia as a font that I couldn't read a text in Calibri. I just couldn't. I just do not like Calibri. No offense to anybody. And of course, your favorite Comic Sans. I like Sitka the best, so I normally keep my text in Sitka when I'm reading. And here are the colors. So, ma'am, when you said how can I include, how can I help this child with color blindness? Allow them to read in different backgrounds. A background that is more comfortable for this child to read, let them read because sometimes you just have a color preference while you're reading. You see, when I'm changing, I'm sure, what's coming to your mind is, oh, I think the last one was better. I think this one is better. Yeah, if I were there, now I'm going to use this color to read. Definitely not this one, hitting my eye badly. Yeah, this is subtle. So, whatever is pleasing for your eyes, you may want to use that color. For example, white and black seems too daunting. So, probably a little kind of a sepia theme would be more appropriate. Yeah. Apart from that, you also have reading preferences here right on top. When I'm stopping or pausing here, you can go with the single line reading, a double or two or three lines reading, or the whole text reading as you like it. You can create your own line focus because this is too much text for me to handle. So, one liners really help. And I really want to show you how this works. So, I'm going to go ahead and start probably here.
Use some supportive strategies, giving them encouragement, teaching is per the child's pace.
You know why I wanted to give you this experiences? Because I think seeing is believing, and once you've seen or experienced it, you understand it better. Remember, I said when the child is already struggling with reading, the comprehension doesn't set in. They don't understand what they're reading. So, this kind of a picture dictionary, which is by board marker, really, really helps. For example, I don't understand the meaning of the word pace. I will click on it, and over here, if there is a picture available, it'll give me a picture. For example, child. Just a second, let me just toggle this off and close the line focus. And now go for turning this on, and I'll say child or giving. Yeah, look at that. There's a picture over here that helps me understand what do you mean by giving, teaching, encouragement. There is no word. All right. So for some of these pieces, you may have images available to understand what this text means. Yeah. And of course, if I don't understand English as a language, there are language options over here. Whichever language you feel comfortable with, multiple Indian and foreign languages. For example, Hindi, you could go either by word, click on it, and it'll give you the Hindi meaning of it. And look, there's an image as well. And it can be read aloud to you too.
Ranitiya. Strategies.
There you go. Do you see it? And if you want, you can turn the entire document. And, if I say, I really want Nidhi ma'am to know what is she saying.
उसुंग सहायक रणनीतियाँ, उन्हें प्रोत्साहन देना, बच्चे की गति के अनुसार पढ़ाना.
And I can toggle between my original and this preferred language text. Nice. It's not just in Teams You even get it everywhere. You even get it in Word, you get it in PowerPoint, you get it in on Immersive Reader, even in your browser. So let me take you to, yeah, this will be a good one. So here I am in Edge browser. In Edge browser, I'm logged in. I'll use these three dots to locate where is read aloud. Okay. Now over here, you have read aloud available. You can click on it to activate whatever you want. So when I click on it, it starts reading
Photosynthesis.
for me. Now, right now, I would recommend go into a website and then start reading. So let's say, let me go here. Okay. That's a website. It has a lot of text. It has this index. And when my children are doing it on their own, what they will do is they'll scroll down and start reading somewhere from here. And then there are blue words and then there are black words. Very confusing, right? Here, right on top, over here in this circle, when you click, you have the same immersive reader available. Do you see it remembers that I like mauve as my background? And it's brought even over here. I was in Teams, but this is the Immersive Reader. This is the AI. It'll remember what is my reading preference. So my reading preference can be set from here. Once again, you have multiple Indian languages. And imagine I'm on a website. I can turn this entire website and translate this into my preferred language. On that note, I would also want to show you that, not everything is what I will be able to cover today. Therefore, I also have brought, a course for you to do on Microsoft Learn. And no excuses for, I don't understand English or, I don't know uh, how to manage that. So let's say this is the course that I'm going to give you, and I'll give you a link. When you do this course, once again, all you need to do is go over here, look for tools, go for read aloud. It'll read aloud the whole
Accessibility,
piece.
special education, and learning. Support equity.
And over here, you
Upon
have
completion
voice
of this module,
options.
you'll
You
be
know
able to
that.
explain how to personalize learning for all students using Windows and Office 365.
Describe ways to make content accessible for all students.
Okay. And once you have done that, you can even turn this entire language into another language by looking at Immersive
Accessibility,
Reader. Sorry, just a second. Yeah. You will have over here, sorry, my spoken language. Yes, it has changed. I hadn't changed my spoken language, so it just gave me a pop-up, and you also saw it gave me a pop-up to say you did not change your spoken language. Now you're talking in English, and I turned that into Hindi. Yeah. So here it is. You can change from over here and then go ahead, get it read aloud for
accessibility,
yourself.
special education and
And
learning
when I
support.
stop this, click on these dots, you will see Immersive Reader as well available over here, just the way I showed you over there. All right. So you can add more voices over here. You can turn this entire page into another, language if you want. Whichever way you want it, you can complete your course. Okay. One more thing. Language teachers, this is a treat for you. You can actually, let me just turn this back into its original one. Okay. Now remember, I'm on Britannica. I'm an immersive reader right now. Therefore, these options are showing. You can use these text preferences and change whatever you want. See, I'm seeing everything in Sitka, not in Calibri. I wanted to show you this. You can even go for column styles. You can get your text spread out if you want. All right. The color choices are here as well. And while your reading preferences are on, you can even have your line focus on over here like this. Yeah. So you can go line by line. This is available across, like I said, it's available in your Word, PowerPoint, everywhere across Office tools and your browser as well. Yeah, Sheetal ma'am, thank you for that. The best part is that it also helps you, teach language. For example, it highlights nouns, adjectives, and so on. Wonderful. And over here, you have supporting diverse needs covered. You have empowering students' voice and choice, whatever they want to, and you have personalized learning, right? So, Immersive Reader gives you read aloud, picture dictionary, translation, line focus, text size, spacing, and grammar tools like syllables and parts of speech. This provides equitable reading access to students who have challenges like dyslexia, ADHD, low literacy, or multilingual backgrounds that sit in our classrooms. The next one is Dictate. I think for this, what would be most appropriate is if I can open a Word document and share with you, how this can happen in Word. Because each time I do something, I love to show you a different kind of a, format or look and feel, but do understand that, this is available across. Now, I'm going to share my screen and take you to Word. In fact, I should open a new Word document. However, I'm just going to go ahead, take over here, a new page. Okay. Now, this is a new page. This is home. You all know about audio, right? Insert, and you have dictate option available over here. Apart from that, what I also want you to notice is the option that is of audio recording. Dictate is here on your home screen. You have dictate. So the minute I press over here, I go over here, I start speaking, and it'll start taking my dictation. Or it'll start now. Do you see over here? It says, I'm listening in English India. I have said this. If you're talking in Hindi or any other language, please choose your language if it is available over here. I'm right now taking English India so that it understands. I have enabled auto punctuation, which means when I'm typing, now the child that you were talking about, ma'am, you can actually give this option to the child and also filter the sensitive phrases in case I say something silly, because when I'm talking, I tend to say some things, right? Which are very colloquial. They do not need to be written over here. For example, when I'm writing uh, about, let's say, this is what is happening. Oh my God. And oh my God is something that you don't need to include here. So it'll be very sensitive to that phrase. And I will save this. Where did I find this? When I click on dictate, this panel comes up on the top right. Next to this mic icon, you have settings. When you click on settings, you can change your preferences here. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to start speaking again. And when I speak, please notice that whenever I am talking and my pace is increasing or it is decreasing, it is actually going to, accommodate to the way I'm speaking. And it knows that where should it put a full stop, a comma, a question mark, an exclamation. It's all very intelligent. This is all AI built in over here to help our students learn better, to be able to deliver better, even if they are not able to write. So for students who have writing challenges, you can always offer them dictate as a feature, and you'll be able to understand what they have written. There you go. Isn't it absolutely fine? Well, look at that. All my punctuation in place, and it's a dream. One more thing. Over here, you can even have, let me just review this. Now, over here, you have read aloud available over here. You have languages available over here. Whether you want to translate this entire piece or this selection, it's up to you. For example, I'll say translate selection. It will say you haven't selected. Here you go. My translation has immediately come in over here. Yeah. If I want to go for the entire document, it will say translate into which language, and it'll auto detect this one. I can choose my language from over here. Let's say this, and it'll translate and create a copy of the translated document without spoiling my own document. All right. Again, you may go to settings to see if you want to offer to translate isn't changing or not, or if you want to add more, you can keep adding beforehand only, so that every time you don't have to keep saying, no, no, do it in Hindi, do it in English, whatever, you'd like. Yeah, I am going a little fast, so if you want me to pause or repeat anywhere, please do let me know. Spelling and grammar check. All your dyslexia issues can be taken care of over here. This document is 97% correct. Only one spelling is incorrect. Look at that. And I could actually either choose or simply just add, because we write emphasis like this only. Yeah, it has been added now. Now I will not have any spelling challenges over here. Yeah. So all these are for students to use. Please do offer them. That is something that's most important. Another thing over here. Yeah, I'm not just stopping. I'm just giving you too many things. There's something called transcribe. When I'm talking in the class, students are listening. While students in higher grades, they have a lot to capture in every class. Oh, just a second. Sorry about that. Let me just log in, and I should be logged in with my ID because it's going to save. Yeah, I'll go back over here. It's on the home button. Next to mic, you have transcribe available. Now, my student is not able to understand what I'm saying for a very simple reason that, you know, that child, for that child, there is too much information to actually hold from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's, I'm assuming that those are your hours. You can start recording over here. Again, change your language. It just takes about a minute to change your language, but please do change your language. Now, right now, I've changed it to English India. I'll start recording, and that's it I need to do. While I'm in my class, while I'm speaking, imagine this is recording everything. This is audio recording everything. And it'll not only record what I'm saying, it will also transcribe, which means a text will be created and that can be given to students as notes, because this is exactly what you taught today in the class. So students would want to go over once again what you said. So there are two options for you. Number one, you've created an audio note for them. Number two, you've created a transcription for them. So for some reason, if they're not able to attend your class as well, you will have both the options of sharing with them an audio or sharing with them a text. Look at that. And in case something is incorrect, you may simply just edit the script, send it to your students, add it to the document, probably, give it in a digital worksheet format. And your students, look, I'm over here, I'll say simply just add to document, just text with speakers or with timestamp. I think with speakers, because when my students also speak, maybe, that's also captured. There you go. My audio file is here, so no upload, no download required. Everything is done for you. Yeah, this is something really amazing. If you can offer to your students, this is something absolutely awesome. I'm straight away from over here jumping into a PowerPoint. Okay, the presentation that I'm using for you today on Equitable Learning Environments. Here it is. Now, I'm not going slide by slide because I'm already showing you many of these things. So over here, when you go to home, you have the same dictate option available. Yeah. Now, when your students are making slides, they can always dictate and make the slide as well. Number two, in your insert, you have cameo available. If you want to turn on the camera or have a little bubble here while you're speaking, you can use that also, because some students don't like bland, just slides coming in. They would love to see you in it. So please do not forget to add a cameo to your slides if you are doing that. And under review, you will find translate and language and accessibility checker. Have you ever checked this? Well, please do check these options. These options are all a part of the course that I'm giving you today to do. That is this one. I'll just drop a link to this in your chat window so that you have it. You must do this course because I may not be able to tell you everything today, but there are so many options over here. Imagine there's an audio option. You can simply just record your audio also and leave it over here. If a child is too shy to speak, let that child pre-record and come to your class. Yeah, there are multiple options here. And of course, you do know that students can rehearse before they come in. They can record themselves. You can run subtitles over here. For example, over here, I'm running subtitles. Once again, which language are you speaking? What subtitles do you want? Spoken language and subtitle language. Let's say I'm speaking in English India. Okay, let's say, okay, for now, I'll just take this. All right, let me just go over here and show you how this works. Now I'm speaking in English and the subtitles is what I had set to Hindi. Can you believe this? It'll automatically translate and come over here. This is inclusive. This is making your classroom equitable. This is offering students multiple ways. And whenever I make presentations, invariably in every session, I keep it like this in a local language. And people ask me, how are you getting that? How are you getting this in another language in real time? It is very simple. Simply just go to slideshow and choose your subtitles. Don't just say always use subtitles. Look at this little thingy under it which says subtitle settings, and we normally miss it, right? And there are many others. Let me challenge you into finding more options in PowerPoint to do so. So I've just taken you through a few things. Now I want to take you through this because this is very important and I really want you to do that. These were some basic, uses. And I also have a comment. I'll just pause here to take the comment first. Okay, Sheetal ma'am says, which professional courses can I pursue on Microsoft Learn? I've already completed most of AI Copilot courses. Please suggest. Wonderful. I'm not sure if you've heard of the new, Microsoft Elevate Educator program, but you have new courses and resources over there. I'm going to do that in the next session, next Tuesday. I'm going to bring those to you so that you know where to go. Good work, question, and thank you for reminding me as well. I will take you through multiple, pieces next time. Okay, coming back to this, practice prompts. Create a differentiated reading task for grade 2 at 3 difficulty levels. Where will I go? Should I go out of here to find? No, Copilot is built within my PowerPoint. I hope you know that. And over here, simply a new chat will come up and you will say, here you go. And let me just bring a reading piece over here. Let me just bring photosynthesis piece over here. I've just copied. I'm coming here and saying this one. I need this at 3 differentiated difficulty levels. So it's the same text that's given in your textbook. You can actually put your entire chapter in this and ask Copilot to give you this in 3 different levels of reading. There you go. Yeah. Higher cognitive challenge, moderate complexity, and simplified text. It's so simple. Another thing you could do is modify this paragraph into simpler English for ELL students for whom English is English language is a challenge. Their preferred language is Hindi. Let's say it's Hindi, right? It could be any. You could actually give the preferred language and then ask for this. Now, you see what it'll do? It is going to create text in a simplified version in both English and Hindi. Yeah, you could actually say, I need it in these very languages, and it has given you in this language, your preferred language. Okay, generate comprehension questions with answer key. Again, I will say comprehension questions with varied complexity levels from very easy to challenging. Now you see over here, what I'm doing is I'm asking Copilot to help me do this. Now, sometimes my students may have challenges and I can ask Copilot to help me overcome those challenges. Challenges like they can't retain too much of text. Okay. My students, I'm just going to speak to it. Okay. It's still generating. Sorry. Yeah. Look, it has generated, right? Now I'm going to say something. My students cannot read too many paragraphs and retain that information. I want them to remember the keywords, those spellings of the keywords. I want them to remember the key points. And I also want them to then use these keywords and key points and write a 10-sentence paragraph on photosynthesis. Guide me what is it that I can do and create a very engaging learning activity. There you go. I've dictated it. Again, I'm being inclusive. Now, over here, I've given a challenge to Copilot to help me teach photosynthesis to grade 2. I mean, can't be photosynthesis for grade 2, obviously, but I've just taken it for context. So, step by step learning, 10 sentence paragraph. It has given me multilingual. Did I ask it to? No. But I'm going to go for the threaded conversation, and it's helping me remember these words: air, hawa, carbon dioxide, food, khana, plants make their own food. It's so easy to remember like this. Yeah. Now this is grade 2. That's why it's given with icon and add gestures to it if you want. Yeah. That's called muscle memory. And over here, it's spelling anchor routines. See, say, trace, write, check. See the word with a picture. Probably use Immersive Reader for that. Say it out loud and say it in English plus Hindi. Trace it once, write it once, spelling check with your partner. And then there's a picture flowchart. You see, if I just take this itself, my students will remember photosynthesis even in grade 2 in a very simple format. Isn't it? So build a sentence. That's nice. Build a sentence is a very powerful activity, and I absolutely love it when students don't know how to start their sentence. I love giving them sentence starters. I've been using Copilot for a very long time, and I've been generating sentence starters for many engaging, many teacher sessions and student sessions. Therefore, this remembers that sentence starters are my favorite. Therefore, it's given me certain sentence starters. It really helps ELL students. And talk before you write. That is amazing. Pair up the students. We always say, okay, why don't you talk about what is it that you're going to write? And then orally describe the flowchart. Okay, I'll write this and then this and then this and then probably that. 10 sentences, 10 fingers. Hold out your fingers. Now, I am HI working with AI. Do remember, human intelligence will always be better than artificial intelligence. But taking an idea from over here, I would say face each other, hold your hand up with 10 fingers out. Say 5 magic words and hold it in one hand. Say 5 steps that you're going to write or take to write form these 10 sentences. What should come first, next, and that's it. Just a timed 1 minute for 5 words, 2 minutes for flowchart, and that's it. 3 minutes, your child is ready to write. You're giving them space to think before they write. You're giving them space to organize their thoughts, and you're accommodating their uh, their abilities. Maybe one of them like things really quickly, but the other one, the thoughts come a little slowly, but you can build on each other's thoughts, right? So you see, with such a small activity, how you have actually created a very equitable learning environment in your classroom using AI. And of course, with the help of AI here, not using AI. Engaging classroom activity could be role play, of course. Would love to do a role play, and students absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm going to pause here because I think I've offloaded a lot of things today to you all. And there's something that, I want to tell you that if you want to start with an equitable or an inclusive environment, develop that as a cultural leadership. For example, Microsoft's mission statement is empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. What's yours? You must have a mission statement like these to be able to offer equitable and learning environments to your students. AI is just an enabler. It's your thinking partner. It's your buddy. It's your aid to make that possible. But in it by itself, it wouldn't make it possible. Therefore, it's very important that you see what is it that's important for you and how are you going to achieve it. Well, our PD portfolio is right here. I will share this in the group as well. And also, uh, remember, I've been putting these little snippets on our Instagram handle. So if you've not got them, catch them to understand the difference between Copilot Chat and M365 Copilot Chat. Very important for us to understand. Yeah. Welcome to part 3 of what's the difference between Copilot Chat and M365 Copilot Chat. Now over here, I'm not running this for you. You know about it. And if you're not already our AI Enthusiast School or AI Explorer School or your AI Trailblazer School, high times you consider that, because I think you're so capable that you will definitely want to be one. Our Copilot chat training is also there. And for today, we do have a test, and I'm going to give a link to this test in your chat window. As I do so, I'm just going to go out of this uh, presentation, go back into Teams, and bring to you on your screen the link for your test. And as you do so, I will share all the important links for today with you in the chat window. And if you have any questions, I'm very much here to answer those. But honestly, these are some of the tools I don't think I can live without. And I'm sure, they go a long way into helping your students in the classroom and making them just comfortable with, their own learning needs and as we address those. So you can take a test here for today's session. After the test, you have to clear it with 80% marks. There are only 5 questions, and you could then pay a minimal fee of 200 rupees, and that's about it. You will get your certificate. So the QR code is in front of you. Go ahead and scan it, and please take the test. And of course, I will meet you now, like I said, next week. Just a second. Let me just give you the links first, otherwise we will forget those. Also, I'll give you the links to the 3 videos uh, on our Instagram handle. If you follow our Instagram handle, you'll anyway find them there. However, for your convenience, I will drop it in the chat window for you. Yeah. And of course, we will meet next week with a new topic for you. And till then, if you have any questions, queries, worries, and even any success points, please do share with us. We love hearing your stories. We would love to capture your stories to share on social. And on that, I think I'm also going to request Nidhi ma'am, Sheetal ma'am, that you're holding such beautiful stories in your classroom, and all of you for that matter. Please do share with us. We would love to highlight your work on social media. And I'll meet you on 27th of January now. The topic will be promoting critical thinking by taking help of AI. So see you on 27th of January. Have a very wonderful week ahead. Celebrate your 26th of January, and I'll see you on 27th. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.